Hey, welcome to the Because I Can live podcast. I'm so glad you're here today because of our guest. I have Leisa Graham in the house, and she's going to talk to us about how to start an online clothing shop. I have a lot of people who reach out to me and say, "Hey, Alison, I want to start an online boutique, but I don't even know where to go. Where do I shop? Where do I organize?" All that kind of stuff. And so she goes into detail about all of that, how she started, how she came up with her name, to how she organizes her clothes. So if you wondered how to start an online boutique, this is the episode for you. All right, you ready to dive into this? Let's go. Let's catch everybody up. A little bit about your story, your business, and I know what it is, but tell everybody about it.
And what you do. So here's long story short. We've been empty nesters for a few years, and I kind of knew that I needed to jump into the job market to help supplement retirement.
Mm-hmm.
We, a couple of years ago, we were able to buy some property in Southeast Idaho, and that's where we both come from. We bought the property that my husband, Darren, grew up on. And so that's where we're headed back as soon as we can. And it is this gorgeous spot, and we're super excited to be able to go there.
Oh, how fun.
So I knew I was going to need to contribute, right, to get that all done. And I started looking in the job market. Because we have that place in Idaho, we are back and forth all the time. And so I thought, gosh, how am I going to have a full-time job if, I need to go back and forth? Plus, I have the most adorable grandkids in the world. And why wouldn't I want to go and spend time with them anytime I can?
Amen. Amen.
So yeah, that's what it's all about. We're a close family, and we get together all the time. So anyway, that's literally when I stumbled after a really good night of prayer onto your course. And that's where the idea of Downtown Dandy began.
I love that name.
Never knew that I never thought that I could have ever started, a boutique and it be going so well and loving it so much.
Okay. So how did you come up with that name? Downtown Dandy.
I started thinking of words that make me smile, and dandy is one of those. I have a daughter, every time I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" She goes, "Just dandy." And I love that name. I love that sound, that word. So, I started brainstorming one night, and I have, 3 daughters and an awesome daughter-in-law. And so I pulled them in on my brainstorm session, and I started throwing crazy things out at them. And I'm sure they're like, "Oh gosh, this woman is crazy." However, I live in the suburbs of Portland, Oregon right now. And so it kind of just fit. And I saw a really cool graphic of the outline of the Portland city skyline. And I loved it. I
was wondering what that city was.
That is what it is. Yeah, that is what it is. So I took a photograph of Portland and I just outlined it to create my logo. And that's where Downtown Dandy started.
That's brilliant. Brilliant. Did you know I had a site called Downtown Tape?
No, I didn't. I didn't even know I knew you did the tape thing, but I had no idea that's what it was.
I know. So many businesses by Alison Prince. I get it. The funny story behind that is I was actually going to call it, "Thank goodness we have family that we can bounce names off of," right?
Yeah.
So it was washi tape is what we were selling. And I wanted something bright and fun. And so I called my sister. I'm like, "Hey, I got the perfect name." I said, "I want to call it Sunny Strips." And she said, "No, Alison. No, Alison." And I'm so glad that I had someone to just say that out loud, because in my head, all I could think of was sunshine and strips of tape. And she's like, no. So then I switched to Downtown Tape. That was, they were both peachy sites.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. You would have had a whole different kind of clientele for sure.
I would have. That's so funny. Oh, God, that was awesome.
I love it.
So, okay, number one, tell your family the name of your site.
The name of the site is downtowndandy.com. Yeah,
That's such a great
super
name.
simple.
Don't use
Yeah, thank you. I love it.
don't use anything with strips in it ever.
No, I'll remember that for sure.
Okay.
The fun thing about it is because it's downtown, I thought everybody has their own downtown, right? And so every product I carry has the name of a different town in the US.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Yes, we did that too.
Oh, cool.
It's no longer though. It's no longer. It was up for about a year. Okay. Now, why did you choose clothing? Of all the things that you could do, why clothing?
So I've already told you this story, but my first inclination was certainly for home decor. I love the fun sayings on your wall. I'm a little bit sarcastic. I love decorative pieces all over the place. And I thought, oh yeah, that's going to be my jam. And you had recommended a couple of different suppliers. And so I dove deep there and I got in contact with a woman in China. And I said, I'd love if you could send me a catalog and I'd just love to see all your things. Meanwhile, I was doing my own research into the shipping game, right? Because shipping can be really expensive, especially when you have different shaped items.
Yep.
And so I thought, oh, I'm going to, that could be a deciding factor for me. Well, I received an email back from this very kind woman, and she sent me a farm, kind of a farm platter. And it was totally misspelled.
Oh,
and it said something like, oh, instead of like eat cow or something, it said meat cow or something crazy like that. And I was just like, okay.
I ordered a sample and not a whole container on
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Well, lucky for me, I didn't even order a sample. This was just on her catalog.
Oh,
so I saw a few things on the catalog and I just thought, I just don't know. I don't know that this is for me. And so my next inclination was just to dive into the clothing industry. I wear a plus size, and I always found that plus size girls could never find the cute clothes that everybody else had. They were weird and polyester and lots of floral and, not my thing. And so I decided right then and there that I wanted to carry all sizes. And on top of that, I wanted to make sure that the plus size clothes cost the same as the regular size clothes. So that's how it began. And I've had such a blast with it.
Good. And you're getting most of those clothes from like California, like Fashion Go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you get those clothes in, what's the first thing that you do? So let's walk through the process of you ordered. They're in-house now. They come in packs of plastic, right?
They do.
Walk through the process of how you organize, how you get ready to put it on your website. Will you walk through that process?
Sure. First thing, obviously, I like to open everything up. I like to count it just to make sure that the counts are right.
Yes.
And then,
Amen to that.
I've totally been bitten on that before. So
I don't think they do it like to cheat. I just think it's humanness, right?
Just human error for sure. And it's only really happened one time for me, and they were very kind and they fixed the mistake right away. So it was great.
Yeah.
And then I will, I create a stock number for it. And the thing, probably the most labor intensive thing for me in that situation is getting good pictures of it. And I've used my daughters as models a ton.
They're beautiful.
Thank you.
They're stunning. They
have caught on to the game, haven't they? I'm like, nobody has to direct anymore. So it's been a lot of fun with them, but they're not close to me either. So I've actually reached out to a couple of other people here so I can get those pictures quicker. I have one of my daughters is a photographer, and I've shipped back and forth to Idaho as well. And that works fine. But I just want more of a pool to choose from.
Do you personally take the pictures? Some of them?
I have either me. I have two daughters that are photographers, and or me, and it is literally an iPhone in portrait mode.
Oh my gosh,
I know.
No. Like what? 3 years ago, I was like, no phone, and because of the technology and the advancements, I hardly ever use my nice camera anymore. I'm always using portrait, always.
Yeah.
And sometimes my pictures, I was doing pictures of a necklace. My iPhone was getting such a better quality. Like I could see the colors better. I could zoom in better. All the details on my phone.
Yeah.
I could not get my nice camera to do it.
Yeah.
And so I am like, heck yes to the cell phones now, because just in 3 years, the changes. So in your pictures, like I'm looking at them right now in the background, are phenomenal. So I love that you're showing everybody else there's hope to not having to be this major photographer. Like you can use what you have.
Yeah, it was intimidating. I thought, I need to run out and get a new camera. And of course, my husband's like, wait, really?
Good job.
But I mean, it really has worked. Yeah, it has worked really well.
Yeah. Okay, so you've got your pictures done. You're uploading them.
Mm-hmm. I will go in. I go in and I tweak those in Photoshop. That's my comfort zone. Mm-hmm. And I cut those down. So it's weird because I can have chaos all the way around me, but on my computer, I am so anal about things. The pictures all have to be the same size. They have to be the same pixel. They have, you know what I mean? I just can't handle it if it's not.
Agreed.
And so, I'll go through and do that. I choose a stock number for them. And then I start doing a little search across the country and say, okay, where does this romper fit? Like, where would I, what town could I be in if I'd wear this romper? Because that would be fun. So.
Yes. So you wouldn't have like a snowsuit here in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Okay. Then how do you organize your clothing? Because I know you ship from your house. So how do you organize the small, medium, large to keep it just organized?
Yeah. I have a rack for things that I want to hang, but for the most part, I went to Costco and I bought their metal shelves and I threw 2 of those in there. In fact, I bought 3 sets and they are, you can break them kind of down by half. And so one of those sets, I made a work table for myself, and that's where I do all my shipping. And I just have that along one wall. And then I have 2 of the full sets of shelves on the other wall. And I have everything folded in. I just fold in order, the largest sizes are on the bottom, or if I can separate stacks, I will. Or if I run out of room, then that's how I do it.
I love it. I love the non-complexity that you bring to it.
Not complex whatsoever.
Okay, now you told me this story. This is, I think, one of my favorite sells that you ever did. Will you talk about how you wanted to drum up some sells and you were celebrating, was it your 37th anniversary?
No, let's see. No, it was actually our 33rd anniversary.
Third. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will you explain how you drove traffic with your anniversary? Because like you're celebrating that you made it past the 30s, you're on 33, and you were able to figure out how to create money at the same time. So it's like this total win-win situation.
This was, most of my ideas are very spur of the moment. Unfortunately, I wish I was a better planner, but
those are the best ones.
So spur of the moment. And I totally thought, hey, 33 years, 33%, that's a third off, right? That's a great sale. I jump at a sale like that. I don't necessarily jump at like, ooh, hey, we're going to give you 10% off. Like, that's not really worth my time, but 33% off, I'm in. So I took an old wedding picture of the 2 of us when we were little teeny babies and just made hey, it's my anniversary and we're celebrating 33. So you get to celebrate 33. And we gave 33% off in the store that day.
And wasn't that one in the beginning, one of your highest converting sells?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And okay, so there's two things why I think that was just such brilliance and it just popped into your head. Number one, 33 is a weird number,
Yeah.
right? And we lived in Oklahoma, and when they were doing some road construction, the speed limit was like 62 and a half. And we were like, what in the world? But it triggered us to say, oh, we need to check our speed limit, right? So with you doing this unrandom, like if you would have been 30, I don't think it would have clicked, but 33%, it totally clicked.
Yeah.
Then another reason why I think it did so well, it's because it was you. And it had to do with you being real and saying, hey, we want to celebrate together and we're going to include you. I think if you had pre-planned everything, people can kind of feel some of the pre-planned. No, I'm not saying pre-planning is bad.
Right.
Heavens knows, like I like to pre-plan totally. But I think there's some art maybe, or the intuition coming out, and people can feel that it's a connection. And so I absolutely love that. Okay, are there any other fun sells that you've done besides that one? I'm putting you on the spot here.
No, I will tell you the best sales day I have had yet. And COVID has put a little damper on that for me. However, I did a girls' night at my house. And nice. I threw that out on social media and any email group that I was part of. And I literally through my house, I just found some of the long tables and I brought stuff out of the stockroom so everybody could kind of browse through the house. And I had treats and some special drinks, mint and lemon water and all that kind of stuff. But my stockroom is on my main floor. And so people were able to go in and try on whatever they wanted. My mirror is right in there. And that was I was just set up at the table and I chatted with whoever I could at the time. But that was, by far my best selling day. And it was such a fun night. And it was, 2 hours and everybody had such a good time. It was kind of a party atmosphere, and there was no pressure to buy, but it was so great.
Well, let's pray we can start doing that soon. I think we've been praying for a whole year, though.
I know, for sure. Well, I have modified that just a little bit, and I have invited just a few people here and there to, if they feel comfortable, to come over just themselves and just look through the stockroom and see, if there's something that they love, and they basically just shop right from my stockroom.
Nice. Yeah. So we had a shop. We knew a shop owner, and they would do like a once a year, maybe twice. No, it had to have been twice a year. And they would all the odds and ends clothing. So they had clothing. There was one size here and one size there, just random bits and pieces. And they would open it up to friends and family, got in for the first, half day. And then they would open it up to all their neighborhood. And I'll tell you what, they made bank because it was like the fastest closeout. And they were so excited to just be like, hey, let's go. We've got new spring sizes coming in. And the people around them were super grateful for it. So
that is so great. What a great idea. And all those little odds and ends. Sometimes you think, oh gosh, what am I going to do with this one shirt?
Yeah. So one thing that we did with Pick Your Plum too, because wait, hang on. My kids are being noisy in the background. I don't know if you can hear them. Hang on.
Fine.
Hey, I love you so much, but I'm recording a podcast and I can totally hear you.
That doesn't sound like that's ever been said before.
I knew darn well I was going into a podcast and I'm like, maybe they'll be quiet. It's not working. And then I just heard another one scream. Okay, all you podcast listeners, this is live. This is real. This is, It is what it is. It is what it is.
Right. I'm just jealous. You're in a gorgeous, cute little t-shirt and I'm in a cardigan.
Oh, yeah. It's like 80 degrees. Sorry.
Jealous.
Come out here.
Yeah. Yes.
Wear a t-shirt. But with Pick Your Plum, we had like odds and ends left over all the time. And we didn't want to create a sell around the odds and ends just because there was a lot of moving parts. So we did grab boxes. And we would say we'd have, I think, $20, $25, and then $35, like a small and a medium, or size A, size B. And we would sell in one sell, which was usually a matter of minutes, like $15,000 to $17,000. It would crash our site. It would create fights on Facebook. It was the most
That is
Unreal
awesome.
thing. And when we first started, it was like, hey, we've got these 10 grab boxes, first come, first serve. And then in them, we made them amazing. Like we put in stuff that was super, super cool. And so
Wow.
they would do the unboxing and then they would write in, oh my gosh, that grab box was amazing. And so they started to create the buzz. So the next time we did it, we got a longer excitement list and then a longer one. And we would do them on Thanksgiving morning. That was always one of the days that we did them. And we said,
Yeah.
the boys are going out to play Turkey Bowl. Ladies are shopping.
Yeah.
So we
No
had this
kidding.
box. And I remember we crashed on every single time we crashed. And my developers were like, okay, this site is so strong, no one can crash. We're good. We're good. Within seconds, the site would crash. And I was like, you don't understand the power of what we've created with
Exactly.
these odds and ends. No one even knew what was in the boxes. So there is power with your odds and ends, whether you open it up your home once we can, or if you're doing grab boxes online, like those are so powerful. Those odds and ends.
Great idea.
Don't like dismiss them or think you have to give them as gifts. There's things you can do with them.
Okay. Great idea.
So, okay, now what advice do you have to give to new online shop owners?
I think, okay, so my biggest takeaway by far is to have a mentor in your life that you can call and say, I can't do it. Prove me wrong. Just to have somebody in there, whoever it is, to say, you got this, you can do this. And your family is my family is so supportive of me. They're my best cheerleaders. But sometimes you need an outside source that says, hey, I've seen what you've done. I see where you're going. Keep going. Don't stop. Now you're just getting to the good stuff. And, I've been so lucky and really blessed that I've had you and your team there, always.
You're sweet.
To help
You're
me
sweet.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know the power of mentors. Like this is why what I created wasn't a course.
Yeah.
You can't courses, they just don't have what you need when you're like, I want to quit. And as an entrepreneur, I bet you can't even count that high. At least I know I can't count how high that I've said, okay, I want to quit. Like that's just in our thoughts all the time. And we've learned to say, okay, go sit in timeout. I'm not ready for you. I'm going to go change the world. Like you're changing the world just through your description on your site where you're building confidence in women. And we know clothing builds confidence.
Yeah.
Like when we have that amazing outfit on versus sweats for the fourth day in a row. Yeah, I got my sweats on. Like that's what you're building and that's what your brand is all about. And so you have to get out there and go sell, and having that team to say, Leisa, you got this. Leisa, you got this.
Yeah.
It's so, so powerful.
That has been, the most powerful thing for me by far. I think the second thing would be to create a consistent habit and do something in your business every day. Even if, today is jammed, or today I'm so sick, or, I have some medical things that I've just kind of gone through and will be going through in the next month. But I was still able, even if the only thing I could have done that day is post on Instagram or share a story, that was easy for me to do. And it just kept things rolling. And it kept my business kind of on my mind too.
I love that that's the second one that you chose, because for me, if I didn't build consistency into my business, it would have never happened. I'm the most inconsistent person in the whole entire world.
Same.
So if I didn't build that consistency in my business, it wouldn't have ever happened. No way. Yeah. No way. Yeah. So yeah, building a business around, okay, I know that I'm going to be a little bit, pulled back and forth. What can I do to have things keep me in check? It's a total game changer. Okay. Is there a third one? Can I ask if there's a third one?
This has definitely been something that I've had to overcome. But seriously, the fear of kind of what others will think. And I place that in the context of like influencers. So, okay, when I had first launched, I'm all, got this confidence and things are going and I'm super excited about it. I reach out to the influencers. And of course, as you taught, the influencer game is a long game, right? You build up a relationship with them and you're courting, and it's a great, this is a cool process to do. Well, the first 3 influencers that I reached out to were all like, oh my gosh, yes, I'd love to work with you. And I thought, look at me, Alison Prince, look at me in my bad self. And so we set up a sale and I'm all like, okay, here we go. Everything's, inventory is going to be decimated and it's going to be amazing. And it was not amazing. And out of those 3 sales, out of those 3 influencers that I worked with, we got 0 anything. Yeah. I got 0 followers on social media. We got 0 emails. I got 0 sales. And I was so stung by that. My ego was a little bit hurt because, of course, I had thought I was all that. And I developed a fear of reaching out to influencers because of, number 1, what they would think, and number 2, like how the process would go. Mm-hmm. And it took me a while to get over that. I think honestly, it was probably more my ego getting over that than the fear. But that was definitely included. I was just afraid of what was going to happen in that situation. And you have to be able to let go of your fear and your ego. Honestly, you have to be willing to just fall flat. And sometimes you will. And sometimes, it hits well and you're just like, look, I am cool.
I feel like when you are down, because it happens, sometimes influencers, it just doesn't, something happens and it's just off and they don't make the sell and it's just going to happen. It's not 100%, right? And then as you move forward, I think God gives us glitter by showing us a few cells here and there. And we're like, okay, we got this. And we keep moving forward with that hope, because it does work and you are going to find some flatliners out there, but then you're going to hit some that can totally do these grand slams and knock it out of the park. Yeah. So I love that you talk about ego, because I know we try, we say we don't have any, but we all have it, right? So you're currently reaching out to influencers now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Good. And you've built that confidence back up.
Yeah. It feels good again. Funny story. I have an influencer and she has a decent following. She's over 20,000 followers easily. In fact, I think she's probably close to 30,000 followers. And she and I have created a friendship over time, and it's been over quite a long time. And she was definitely one that I was a bit intimidated by. We are not alike in any shape or form. She and I are opposite ends of the spectrum in so many different life arenas. And one night, I just thought, stop it. You need to get over this and you need to just reach out to her and just see, And I did. I reached out with a very, like a kind of a small little collaboration, but I just asked, hey, would you ever be interested in this? And I will tell you, it sounds like a fail story, but it's a success story. She said, you know what? Right now in my life, I'm going after the big guns. I want big sponsorships. And so I'm really not collaborating with very many people at all. Thank you for asking. Thank you for reaching out. And it was such a positive experience. And from that, this girl who really has nothing to gain by supporting me, she comments on every single one of my pictures.
Seriously.
And I do the same for her, but I don't need to. She has hundreds of comments. So she doesn't need me at all. And she still does. And that has been such a success story and taken so much of that fear of, hey, you know what? If you get told no, that's okay. I was told one time getting a no was like, offering somebody ketchup for their fries. Not everybody likes ketchup on their fries. I'm a fry purist myself.
What? No way.
So, I like some ketchup, but French fries, man. So when you offer somebody ketchup and they say, oh, no, thank you, that doesn't break your heart. You're like, oh, okay, that's fine. And that's the way that you have to look at it.
I love it. I love that was such a opening for you to say, okay, we're going to relate this to French fries. And you're like, it's not because Lisa's bad. It's because they just don't want ketchup, and that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But Lisa, I think what is so powerful with this gal, number one, is she said, no, not right now. What happens in the future, right?
Right.
I know a lot of influencers that have told me no for a long time. And they come back later and they're like, okay, now I'm ready for you. And
Yeah.
I'm like, great. And they do really, really well for me. And so I love that you're creating that relationship. And then as you are commenting on her page, people are like, oh, who is this downtown dandy? And then they come and they check you out.
Yeah.
And she's liking your stuff. And so when they come over and they're like, oh, so and so likes this too, it's got that social proof for to help you give I don't know, security, the reassurance, the social proof that your customers are like, oh, okay, this is a good shop.
Yeah.
So I do actually, yeah, you see it as a win, and I think there's so many other wins in that story. That's so 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 good.
Thank
Love
you.
it, love it, love it. Okay, you've been so gracious to tell us how you started, how you organize everything, some of your favorite sells ever. Any parting words for newbies starting their online store?
Oh,
I know you just did your top 3 things, but any other things you
gosh.
want to add?
I guess remember why you did it. I have a very clear picture in my mind of what I want. I have warehouse space waiting for me in Idaho for when we go. And we kind of laugh about how we're going to be able to call, Ryrie, Idaho, population 500, downtown dandy. But that's what we're going to do. And that is a very clear picture in my mind. I think about that end goal all the time. And, remember why you're doing it. When your kids are not letting you get the things done that you want, or if somebody in your family isn't supportive and they don't believe that you can do it, or, you get told no, or something, right? Something happens to your health or your finances. Remember what that end goal is. Remember why you started in the beginning. If you need to put a vision board up, then do that. Put that in front of you all the time. So you don't forget, you don't forget the win that you're looking for.
Oh, that's super powerful. Super powerful. And I want to take a tour of that warehouse when you have it up and going.
Yay.
Okay, so where can people find you?
I am at actually not even www. It is just downtowndandy.com.
And what's your Instagram?
Also at Downtown Dandy, all one word. And I have a Facebook group called Downtown Dandified.
Nice.
And that's where I share sales, sometimes just for them. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I'll include the email group with that as well, because I appreciate people, giving me their time and attention. And and also on Facebook as Downtown Dandy.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Lisa, for sharing so much with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, yes. Guys, go check her out. Follow her on Instagram. Get some of her amazing products because they are so cool. All right. Thank you, Lisa.
Thanks again.
All right, here we go with Lisa's top 10 takeaways, starting from 10, and we're going to work our way back to number 1. All right, number 10, Lisa started her business as a way to supplement her retirement. If you recall, episode number 38, we've got Bev Schweigart coming in, and she's done that as well. And that's a fun episode you can dive into. Bev has crossed well over the 6-figure mark. Just in 2020, and 2021 is looking a lot brighter for her. So you can dig into that episode when you're done listening to the rest of the 9. All right. Number 9, Lisa built a business around her frustration of trying to find cute plus size clothing. Number 8, double check your inventory as it comes in. You want to make sure that you have everything that you paid for. Number 7, feel free to use your phone in portrait mode to get some amazing photos. Just a little tip, a side tip from Alison. Make sure you're doing it in the shade and not in the bright light to give dark, harsh shadows. Number 6, format your pictures so they're all the same size on your site. Your customers love to see patterns, love to see repetition. So if they're a whole bunch of wonky, weird sizes, it's kind of a turnoff for a lot of your customers. Number 5, organize your clothing as the shipments come in. Lisa uses just great shelving from Costco. Does not need to be complicated. Number 4, be authentic. The way she celebrated her anniversary with her customers by giving them 33% off, let them know a little bit more about Leisa. And it got that connection, that human connection that customers are looking for with a business. And number 3, I love that she said that her customers don't react to a 10% off sell. How many times have you tried to put out a promotion? You're like, it kind of fell flat. Maybe it was 10%. Maybe you're offering something that people just isn't ready. They're not chomping at the bit to get it. The second one, I guess this one has more to do with me. Kids are loud. They will interrupt every single thing that you do, business, meetings, whatever, and that's okay. It's okay. When my kids were talking and having fun in the background, I just built my business around it. You've heard my kids squawk. They walk in on lives. They walk in when the door's shut. I swear, the door shut in my home means come on in. My kids use that very often. So it's okay that your kids are in the background. And then the number 1 thing, take those odds and ends. Maybe the random sizes that don't sell very well, or the collection of this or that you don't have, and put it together and make it exciting for people, like a grab box, or what Leisa did, she opened up her home. I know many of people with online stores that sell clothing that will just put some stuff out in their garage, and they invite friends and family to come over and buy clothing at a discount. Don't just give that stuff away. There's still money to be made in it. All right, hope you loved that episode. Leisa was so generous to talk about how she started her boutique online store. I thought that was a super fun interview. And have a beautiful day. Go make that money, put it in your pocket where it belongs, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.